So I think I'm gonna do the same thing today, but this time going into the 9, 11, and 13 scale degrees, practicing the three different shapes. What is this? From the perspective of this A note. And then finally, once I finish this finally, then I'll move on to some of these other nodes and try to do the same thing because I really think I'm kind of liking the idea of taking one nodal point wherever it is, and I think we can basically take the nodal point by string, you know, and then say and then use that to determine as quickly as possible. I'm going to make that the root. I'm going to make it one of the seven. I'm going to make it one of the seven nodal points, and then determine and then try to instantaneously determine what shape I'm in by basically locating the box around it. So I think that's a good practice, and then practice the. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go up and down, or maybe I'll go from side to side. I don't know. We'll deal with that later. But that's what I'm thinking. So I'll just warm up. Maybe I'll warm up this time, going back and forth between G major and G minor because I was kind of messing with that before. And let's see. Let's go into this collection of notes for G minor, just to see that one. And so I'll kind of go back and forth between minor and major. So major or mixolydian is the one over here. G mixolydian, which is the normal collection of notes. C major, G mixolydian, and then this G minor collection of notes. I'll go back and forth, and then I'll practice my. I've been practicing my scratch picking to try to put that in there, and then the cajon. The cajon, I'm trying to hit it. I have twisted the cajon, so I'm sitting on the corner of it. So I'm trying to get the right aim. If I was to just, go down and. get to my joke, and then I'll keep on rolling, and then I'll get to this nodal point here. What was I working on? I'm on this one, and then I'll get to this again, and we'll go to the 5, the 9. I think I did the 9 last time, right? So now we're on just the 11 and the 13. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll do a quick joke. I don't think my joke was. We'll see what it is. Try to see what I got on the joke. Let's see. Joke practice for the day. Just a stupid joke as far as I can remember. See what we have. All right. I refuse to tuck my t-shirt in. Absolutely not. I'm a grown adult. I pay taxes. I know my social security number by heart, and yet somehow tucking a t-shirt in still feels like a felony. Why? Because the moment you tuck the shirt in, things get confusing. You've entered a moral gray zone because technically, and stay with me here, once your shirt is tucked into your pants, your t-shirt is now your underpants. You know, the naming conventions start to get mixed up. And I'm sick of mixing up the naming. I'm sick of the deconstructions and trying to blur all the lines on everything, right? So I am refusing to do that because that will confuse things, and I'm drawing the line there. So at least the bottom part of it becomes your underpants, which makes the top part of your t-shirt then questionable as because it's connected to see if it's also your. So nobody wants that kind of responsibility on their torso. And honestly, if we're gonna get technical, I think underpants is a misleading name altogether. We need to get more specific so the crazy deconstructionists can't gaslight the crap out of us with just mixing up everything, you know? So if we're naming things by location, underpants should really be another word for your shoes, right? That's what underpants should be technically, it seems like, because those are the things literally under your pants. So I feel like that would be, because shoes, what does that even mean? I don't even know where the relationship to the other clothes are. It should be something like, feet covers or something, So if we're wearing underwear on our feet, we have a completely different conversation to have. But I'm just saying the math checks out that the underpants should actually be like your shoes. So meanwhile, the thing we currently call underpants, let's be honest about the job here. That's not a very specific term. We should rename them something more accurate, something scientific, something with integrity, like crotch covers. That would be, again, the deconstructivists would have a little bit more difficult time gaslighting you about crotch covers or a direct honest gets the job done. Or if we want to get real medically accurate, we can call them shard filters. Shard filters, so that we can actually know the operation that they serve. This is exactly what they're doing here, right? So let's not try to get some fancy French name or something that doesn't mean anything and you can't spell it, right? Let's just the car is in the car hole, not the garage. We go to the restaurant. No, it's the feed your face place. Let's get specific. Otherwise the crazies, they gaslight you by messing with all the words, man. So that's where the whole resume is. The LinkedIn profile is just underwear 1996 to present. Responsibility includes containment and damage mitigation. That's what they're there for. But no, society's like, no, tuck in your t-shirt. It looks nicer. Does it? Does it really? Or am I just wearing a long cotton diaper top and pretending that's fusion? This is why I don't tuck my t-shirt in, because if the bottom of my t-shirt is technically underwear, then the top of my pants is technically a waistband of lies. And I will not live that way. You see the t-shirt, the animation gave me the very free bottom half of the t-shirt. I don't know why there's so much material down there. I don't really need a lot all that material. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's my stupid joke. Let's see what the song. I put it into Suno. Let's see what Suno gives on the song on this. I'll get my glasses while it's playing maybe.
I refuse to tuck my t-shirt in. Absolutely not. I'm a grown adult, I pay taxes, I keep my numbers on lock. But somehow the second that cotton goes into the waistband, I feel like I'm committing fashion crime on federal land. Cause the moment that shirt goes down, everything starts getting weird. You step into a moral gray zone, and suddenly your torso grows a beard. Yeah, once it's tucked, your t-shirt's technically underpants. At least the bottom part is, don't pretend it ain't. Nobody wants that underwear, torso responsibility. So I let my shirt fly free. I'm not living in a waistband of lies. No, I will not live that life. Yeah. And honestly, underpants is misleading from the start. If names are based on location, then shoes should play that part. They're literally under your pants, the math is airtight. If you're wearing underwear on your feet, brother, that's a whole new fight. Meanwhile, the garments we call underwear need a name with honesty. Something noble, something factual, something proud of its true duty. Call them crotch covers, yeah, heroic little shields, or short filters, medical accuracy revealed. Their whole resumes just contain litigation. Please go check their LinkedIn, baby, they've been grinding since '93. But don't ask me to live in a waistband of lies. I won't tuck in, not tonight. Society says tuck it in, it looks clean, it looks nice. But do I look stylish or cotton diapered in disguise? Am I supposed to pretend this is fashion? Like I'm rocking some waistband, true compression action? No, 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 I declare my rebellion right now. If the bottom of my shirt is technically underwear, then the top of my pants is lying straight to my face, I swear. So let the wind hit my hair, let my freedom be untamed. I refuse to tuck in shame, I'm not living in a waistband of lies. Yeah, that's where I draw the line. I won't tuck my t-shirt in, and I will not live like that.
All right. Not bad for a tuck-in joke. Suno, good work. Good work, Suno. All right. Let's see. Okay. So I'm on this node. I'm on the 11 now. So I'm going to go, I'm in the collection of notes around the key of C. So where's that located? I'm just going to practice my terminology. So I'm on the coordinate system. C is right here on fret, wait a sec. Yeah, fret 8, 1, coordinate 8, 1, or coordinate 8 Ionian, back to the 5, 6, or 5 Aeolian. I would call this the Aeolian shape, or the Ionian G shape, or the shape number 1. And so it goes from, it starts at Aeolian, that's why I call it the Aeolian shape. So it goes 6, Aeolian, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 to 6. I'm looking at this Aeolian down here. And so that's going to be shape number 1. So that's my familiar kind of shape, collection notes around the key of C, but I'm playing in the minor mode, Aeolian, in other words. Yeah, so we're going to say then we're looking for the 9, looking for the 11 The 11, I think we were on. So the 11 is from a chord construction is equivalent to the 4. So 4 is off by 1 from a scale degree. Fourth scale degree minus 1 would be 3 modal half steps up. So if I'm on 6, 6, 7, 1, 2. So we're looking for the Dorian node. So Dorian node is like right there, but then I have to lose the third. So I have one like right here. So that's doable. And I can grab that possibly as I grab this one. Might even be able to bar that off because that would be the 7 right there. So I could get the 4 and the 7. 4 is a pretty solid, just kind of filler. Doesn't really add a whole lot of flavor, but it should go well, not screw anything up. As I had the 7 there, maybe would be my idea of it. But that means that nodal point number 2, which is the Dorian, is always from a chord construction standpoint, it's always the 5th modal half step. 5 times 2 would be 10. 5th modal whole step times 2 would be 10 modal half steps, plus 1 would be the 11th scale degree. But if it's 10 modal half steps, then it's an octave up because we went around the circle more than once. So we're going to say 10 minus 7 would be 3. And that's why we get the local distance of 3 up from here. So I can verify that by counting it up. Should have a local clockwise distance of 3, 5, and then 10 as we cross the fault line. 4, 3, 2, 1, wait a sec, 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Right? Yeah, 5. It has a 5 node away distance, right? Because it's the fourth. The fourth has a 5 node away distance unless you are measuring from the Lydian node. The Lydian node is the only one that's strange that has a 6 node away augmented fourth. All right, makes perfect sense. I'm gonna have to drop this one, and I'm gonna say, okay, so if I was reaching back and I wanted to bring in, I can bar this bad doggy off. So I get the 1, 3, and then there's that 4. Should just be a filler as I'm reaching for that 7, so I don't have to like mute it to get the 7. I can kind of bar that last bit off. I really want the 7, but I might as well pick up the 4, or not. I mute it versus. Okay, so what if I make this 6 a Mixolydian, and then I try to build a chord which includes the 11, which is equivalent to the 4, which is the 10th modal half step up. So if I make this Mixolydian, I can kind of look at it here and say, well, where's the box going to be? Where's the box going to be if I make this nodal point 5? Well, I see nodal point 5 here, right? Where's the box? It's right back here, or it's up here. So the Mixolydian is if I'm doing the Mixolydian on the D string, if I'm going to make any note on the D string Mixolydian, then I know the box is going to be behind it this way. It's going to be on the bottom floor of Ionian's box house, and I know that if the box is up here, then this would be shape number 2, and then leaning forward into this way, the box is above it, so it's under the house to the left of the box, so that would be shape number 1. So let's check it out, and I'm going to go over here to the Aeolian is now the A is now the 5, right? So now what happens? So now we have on coordinate system 7 nodal point 5 Mixolydian. Now that's the 5. Okay, cool. And where's the box? The box is now, I'm on the ground floor of the box. If I go backwards or left, then I hit the box ground floor. And if the box is on the A and D string, then I know if I'm leaning back into the box, then that's going to be shape number 5. And if I'm leaning forward, where's the box? It's going to be it's above me. I'm not even on the ground floor. It's above me, 2 frets forward. And so if the box is up here and I'm leaning forward into the box, that's going to be shape number 1. So anytime the box is on the E string closest to the ceiling and the A, then I'm in box number 1. So that means whenever I'm nodal point mixolydian on the D string can be defined as the mixolydian point between shape 5 and shape 1. Shape 5, you might call it actually nodal point 5, which is kind of convenient because that's the mixolydian, because if I start at the top, it's mixolydian. If you name it by the Ionian caged shape, from here you'd be making an A shape, and then it's between nodal point 1, so nodal point 1 is over here, and the A is now the major. The other way you can find it, of course, is to put the D is the major, because I'm looking at A mixolydian. You could put your finger on the major, or you could find the related major. In other words, if this is the 5, then where's the 1, right? I could go, okay, well, if that's the 5, I know there's a 5 up here at the top of the shape. And if I knew the shape, I can count out to 1, 5, 5, 6, 7, 1. Or I can count it forward if I know it's whole half. I'm on 5, whole step to 6, whole step to 7, half step to 1, right? Meaning mixolydian always has a whole step to aeolian, always has a whole step to Locrian, then it always has a half step to 1 Ionian. So then that means that my point Ionian, put my pinky on it, going from coordinate system 10, 1, 10 Ionian back to 7, 6, 7 Aeolian. So the Aeolian, or position number 1, or the Ionian G shape, goes from Aeolian to Aeolian, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I'm on 5 right there. Okay. So let's say we add the 11 relative to this shape. I'm going to add the 11 relative to the mixolydian. All right, so the 11 is 10 modal half steps up, but the 11 is equivalent to the 4 from a local standpoint. So the 4 scale degree minus 1 would be 3 modal half steps up. 3 modal half steps from nodal point 5, 5, 6, 7, 1 would be Ionian. So now we're going to be back here on the Ionian. And let's see. And why is that different than over here? Because we had this shape was different, because the 7 was down here. So I still have the 7 here, but I was grabbing this. I'm not going to be able to grab this 5th. I could try to put the 5th on top maybe if I wanted to grab it up there. Okay, so it looks something like that. So that means the 3rd is now in as opposed to back here. Okay, so that makes sense. So that means that nodal point number number 4 is always 5 modal whole steps times 2 would be 10 modal half steps away, which means plus 1 would be the 11th scale degree, but we want to get the local distance, so 10 minus 7 gives us a local distance of 3. So it'd be 3 modal half steps up, which would be the 4th scale degree. Now, how far away in notes is a 4th, or 3 modal half steps up? It's going to have a distance of 5, which is the same distance because that we counted out before in half steps, because every distance has a local distance. Every 4th modal half step, 5th scale degree, has a local distance of 5 notes away, unless you're moving from the Lydian, because it's crazy. It has a crazy 6-note augmented 6-note distance. Okay, so then we have this, boom, boom. So and then I can go, and then I can reach back here. Is that right? Wait a second. Yeah, that A, and then back here. All right. So I need to work on that fingering. Uh, let's say if I made that 5 a 1, an Ionian. What's going to happen if that's the Ionian? Well, I'm going to say, okay, I was doing this in minor, and then I was doing it in the Mixolydian. And now I want to make it Ionian. Well, if it's Ionian, I can say, okay, well, where's the box? Here's the box back here. The Ionian's at the top right of the box. So if I make that number 5 the Ionian, making it from Mixolydian to Ionian, it's going to be at the top right of the box. So that means the box is going to be right here, Ionian house. That 5 is going to change to a 1, and the box is going to be there. Okay, what did I just do? Undo that. I don't know what that was. So the box is going to be right there. Okay, so that means, so if the box is on, if my nodal point that I'm pointing at has the box that's on frets D and G, and I have the box right here. If I'm leaning forward from that box, that means I'm on shape number 3. which would be a cage shape, Ionian D shape, and then leaning back, that must be shape number 2. So let's check that out, see if that is indeed que pasaría, what will happen. This will be Ionian. So now we have, there's the box, and then leaning forward, you get this Ionian D shape to lean forward right there. This is shape number 3. Ionian D shape, you might call it a Dorian shape because it starts on the Dorian. So if you played 2 to 2, it would be going Dorian to Dorian, and then leaning backwards, you've got this shape. So now the box is on the front end of the shape in the middle, right? So if you're in the box leaning backwards, and the box is on strings D and G, D and G, then you're in shape number 2, which you might call the Locrian shape, but most likely people call it the Ionian E shape. All right, like the major bar chord shape on the top string shape. All right, so if I'm here, then where is going to be the 11? The 11 is equivalent to the 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So if I have 3 plus 1, it would be 4 again, which makes sense because we're on the everything counts from the Ionian. So that would be 4. So that would be here. And the thing that's different is I get rid of the 5th. I'm going to bring that back. I can't really bar it now because the 7 is further back. So that's because the 7 has an 11 note away 7. So the shape looks the same as we saw for the Mixolydian. If I had this nodal point as the 5, except that the 11th, which is one step. Actually, no, it's not back. It's forward. Is one step. It's 11 notes away, which is that nodal point 7. Okay. All right. So that means, this nodal point here, nodal point 4, Lydian, is always, therefore, the 11th of nodal point 1. It's always the 5th modal whole step, which is 5 times 2, or 10 modal half step, plus 1 would be the 11th scale degree. But if it's 10 modal half steps, the local distance is going to be 10 minus 7, so it would be 3 modal half steps up, plus 1 would be the 4th scale degree. 3 modal half step, 4th scale degree has a distance in normal notes, a note distance of 5, as is the case with all nodes. Therefore, it's the same relative position down here, unless you're measuring from the crazy Lydian. It's as crazy as the Locrian. It's got a 6-note distance in it. Don't try to act like you're all normal just because you're buddies with the Ionian. That's just like the new media these days. You're like, I'm not crazy. Look at my numbers. No, you're crazy. I can see you're crazy. I hear what you're saying, and I see that you're crazy. Okay. So let's see if I was gonna okay, I probably can't grab this one at the same time, so I'd have to drop that one, the major 7, or toggle between them. Versus the 7, so I'll mute this one, hit the 7. Wait a second. It's on fret number 3. Versus getting the 7. Versus the 5th. 5th and 7. Dropping the 5, grabbing the 4th. let's go back here, and let's say we find the 13. All right, 13 is equivalent to the 6. 13 is equivalent to the 6. So if I'm going 6 modal half steps, or 6 minus 1 would be 5 modal half steps. So if I'm on Aeolian, so I'm back to this collection of notes where my collection notes around the key of C, position 1, fret 5, Aeolian to Aeolian, 5 or 6, fret 5, Aeolian to Aeolian, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we're going to say 6. We're looking for the 13, which is equivalent to the 6. So it's 5 modal half steps up. So 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking for nodal point numero cuatro. So you get this one. There's one right there. Probably not going to grab these two at the same time. I could try to grab that one. Probably not going to happen, but I'll keep it there for now. That means that nodal point number 4, which is the Lydian, is always the 13th away, or local distance 6th away, or in other words, it's always the 6th modal whole step. 6 times 2 would be 12 modal half steps, plus 1 would be the 13th scale degree, but the 12th modal half step is an octave up, so the local distance of only 7 nodes around the block would be 12 minus 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which would be 5. 5 modal half steps up from there. And we know that 5 modal half steps is the 6th scale degree, and the 5th modal half step, 6th scale degree, has a distance in half steps or notes of 8 is the minor distance. If it was from an Aeolian node, it's 8, meaning a minor node would be node number 6. Node number, which would be Aeolian, node number Phrygian, node number 3 also has a minor distance, but node number 2, Dorian, has a major distance because it kind of betrays the minor solidarity on that one and goes major distance. Okay, so it's going to have a distance of 8 notes away, local distance. So if I count that out, it'd be 5, 10 as we cross the fault line. 9, 8. All right. Makes perfecto sense. So we would call that something like, normal name would be an A minor 13, and then we would drop some of the notes here or something like that. But I'd rather call it an Aeolian 5 modal whole step chord, because it takes 5 modal whole steps to get to that last node, and then name the ones that we drop if we want to get more specific. I have a whole course on the better naming convention to be more specific. Just like with naming your clothes, we need to stop letting morons name things with names that are misleading, and then because then people come in and they try to confuse you. It's like, no, I will not accept your craziness. Let's see. I wonder if I can grab that. I could grab that 7 back there, but I probably wouldn't, because it's so much easier if I just have my pointer finger grab that little triad, dropping the 5 and grabbing that one, although I could pick the 5 up still on top with my pinky if I wanted to. Okay, what if I made this nodal point 6 the mixolydian? Well, if it's the mixolydian, I can see the mixolydian is above on the ground floor of the box, but 2 frets forward. So that would mean I would have the box leaning back to the box on the on strings A and D. And if the box is on strings A, D, and I'm leaning back into it, then that's going to be shape number 5. And then leaning forward must be shape number 1, because the box then would be up here compared to the mixolydian. So if that's the node number 5, the box is going to be up here and then right and then back. So I'm going to say, okay, so here it is, nodal point number 5. That makes sense on coordinate system 7, 5 or 7 D string. Means that leaning back, I'm on the ground floor. The box is going to be 2 frets back. And so this shape then must be shape numero 5, number 5, or you might call it the mixolydian shape, the nodal point 5 shape. You might call it from the Ionian cage system, the Ionian A shape. And that means that leaning forward, the box is going to be below the ground floor. And then it's going to be up above me. That's one place it's going to be. I can also measure by where it is, the box below it. But let's just think about it's going to be right above the box. That would be another way to see it, right? It's right above the box here, but the box has been shifted because of the tectonic plate. This tectonic plate shifted to the right from the perspective of the from nodal point 5. But in any case, if the box is up here on the top strings, E and A string, and we're leaning back into the shape from the box, then that's going to be shape number 1. So this nodal point can be defined as it's the D string, fret 7, but it's between shape number 5 and shape number 1. All right. That's whenever I'm on that point. That's the way it is. That's just the way it is. So now I'm going to find the 13th. The 13th is equivalent to the 6. So 6 minus 1 is 5 modal half steps up. So 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Looking for nodal point numero 3. And it's got a different relative position than before. I'm probably just going to grab that triad. Probably not going to grab that 7. So that means that number 3, which is the Phrygian, is always 5 modal whole steps. 5 times 2, 10 modal half. Wait, no. 6 modal half steps. 6 times 2 is 6 modal whole steps. 6 times 2 is 12 modal half steps plus 1 13th scale degree away. But if it's 12 modal half steps, then that means it's gone over an octave because there's only 7 notes in the circle. So 12 minus 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is 5 modal half steps up, which would be the 6th scale degree for the local distance. And the 5th modal half step, 6th scale degree, has a distance from a major node of 9 notes away, not 8 notes away. So we're on mixolydian major node. It has a major distance for the 5th modal half step, 6th scale degree, 9 notes away. So if I count that, it would be 5 notes between the string, 10 as we cross the fault line, back to 9. So that's that. So then we would be on this shape. And that's just those 3 nodes, which is going to sound bluesy because I'm kind of thinking as though it sounds like this is the root, but no, that's right. My head is going. See if I can grab the 7. Kind of do that. Wait a sec. No, I had that wrong. Sorry. Here it is. was wrong. Oh, my head is dying right now. I think I'm about done. The 7's up here.